I think it's a myth to think that colonization ended hundreds of years ago. It's an ongoing practice. And in a way, as architects, we sit within that middle ground, unfortunately, watching things happening. We're not politicians. We're not, economists. We're not policymakers. But we represent and present the earth as we see it. I think that's the power, the strength within the practice to look at ways to get ourselves from this moment in time to be more productive and less destructive.
What we were trying to do or are trying to do with the pavilion is to highlight other ways and other forms of more gentle practice of architecture. So it's hoping that a lot of the architects that come through these doors will think about what architecture actually does and the role architecture plays in climate change. We went back to Kenya, back to the community that have not lost their cultural identity. And so this was the Maasai. The Maasai women have never been to an architectural school, but they've built homes for centuries, homes that stand, homes that have zero CO2 emission. They take very little from the earth, and once they're done with it, it returns back to the earth. So for us, it was a big statement to bring that kind of thinking. So we covered the neoclassical top of the British Pavilion with the shape of the manyatta. And then we hung a curtain, and the material we used on the bead curtain was beads made from clay from Kenya, made by Maasai women, but also mixed it with charcoal briquettes made from agricultural waste. So it was also a statement of non-extractive ways of representing architecture.
The idea is to think about how logics of earth practice can be a binding factor, not only within the pavilion, but in how we perceive the world and the earth systems. So the first room you'll go into is what we call the earth compass. And within that, there is this idea of thinking of this interior space as a skin and using African logics of scarification, marking each and every country in the world through all the walls. The central space is emphasized by a drum. We pivoted an African proverb saying that you can steal a drum, but finding a place to beat it is difficult. It's paraphrased, but that's the same logic where most of the artifacts and most of these practices of extraction have been ongoing for centuries. You cannot celebrate a culture, cannot celebrate things that you've extracted from other people in other countries. As architects, we feel it's a moment to not only speak truth to power, but be able to present solutions.